hi. This is your girl, Tiffany S. Carter. And this is Tiffany Talks. And it is Wednesday wisdom, honey. And if you have not been watching the Tiffany Talks on this season 3, you have been missing it. What did I say? You've been missing it. You've been missing a treat. We've had so many phenomenal people here. We have had so many phenomenal people. And tonight, I am so honored to have this lady. But first, before we get things started, I'm already going to support my books. You know what I'm saying? Y'all going to have to go order Broken 7 Steps to Healing While Grieving. Right here. Then it's forged by the fire, honey. This sister been forged by the fire. And I talked to you today with a little business advice from Raising the Bar. Tonight, I didn't want to disappoint you. But also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you for all those new subscribers and supporters. Thank you for those who have been sharing the videos, getting the message out that it's real conversations here at Tiffany Talks, because that is where real conversations are taking place, and you she's not only an educator, but what did I say? An advocate, because every educator is not an advocate. She is an educator, and she loves children. She loves her community. She used to love her parents. And actually, I had the privilege that she was the principal at my daughter's school, like from 3rd to 5th grade for about 3 years. So I had the privilege to work alongside of her as a parent in PTA and all various function fundraisers. So when I say that I admire this woman, not just an educator, but she's a woman of God, she has inspired many. And that's why I brought her on this platform tonight. But without further ado, I have Miss Darlene Mitchell, Principal Mitchell. How you doing?
Good evening, Tiffany. How are you?
I'm fine. Well, first and foremost, Miss Mitchell, where you
Yes.
from? Where you from? Where you
I,
from? Tell us where you from.
I am from Albion, Michigan, which is a
Mm-hmm.
little town not too far from Battle Creek, Michigan. I was born in Battle Creek, Michigan, and raised in Albion, Michigan.
Okay. And then tell us, how did you get down here in the Rocket City, which is Huntsville?
Well, I had a brother who played football at Alabama A&M University. And as a result of that, my parents decided that they wanted me to be here as well. So I transferred from Texas College in Tyler, Texas, where I was on scholarship and having a great time, and I moved to Huntsville. Little did I know this would become the love of my life. I love Huntsville. It's an amazing place, and I'm so thankful to God for bringing me here.
So when I met you, you were just coming from, I know, a school. What school were you just coming from? That
Hampton
you
Middle School.
Hampton Cove Middle School. So let me just give you well, she retired, y'all, so she could say what she want to say. She retired. The retired folks they can tell the truth. That's why I get to retire. I don't want to lose y'all job. But when it's safe to say, when I came here in 2013 in Huntsville, it was a big deal about segregation. If I'm right. I know this is 2013, 14, and y'all talking about segregation, but it was the integration of diversity, and it was a problem in Huntsville. So to tackle this diversity thing, they started bringing in the teachers and the educators who were skilled in diversity and incorporating cultural experience. I'm uncovering it right.
That is correct.
So with that, they brought Miss Mitchell to Providence. I had been at Providence for 2 years before Miss Mitchell. And it was safe to say that she brought back a lot of things. PTA, the parent inclusion and different things. Can you tell us about that experience and what you accomplished while you was at Providence Elementary in Huntsville when you came to incorporate that?
Well, I had the opportunity to be at at a school called Hampton Cove Middle School, where we did so many amazing things. And before that, I was at Rolling Hills Elementary, and
Mm-hmm.
we did many, many amazing things. And one of the things, one of my strengths was the PTA. And so when I made it to Providence, I decided that I would jump in and we would reestablish the PTA. And boy, did we do a great job with that. I mean, my parents were so amazing. We established a PTA that set so many records in membership, in fundraising activities for our children. We were above board because one of the problems that we have oftentimes is that our schools do not have strong parent involvement. As
Mm-hmm.
a result of that, we were able to establish strong parent involvement and bring parents in, such as yourself, and get
Mm-hmm.
involved and make a difference. You know, I have this thing about shared responsibility. And
Mm-hmm.
things I believe in is sharing. And we have to share our expertise with our parents, and they share their expertise with us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And when you talk about shared responsibility, I just vividly remember, I had a couple of complaints when you first came there and you said, hey, okay. You sat there and listened. You said, hey, sweetie pie, well, you can volunteer and be on the PTA. And it was so nice. Like, and, I was like, well, I can. You was like, bring those. Don't just be a complaint. Don't complain about the situation if you're not a part of the solution. Don't
Absolutely.
complain about the problem. So when you're talking about shared responsibility, how important is that for children?
Well, we often hear the statement being made that it takes a village. Well, I agree with that statement, but I'd like to take that a little further in that it's a shared responsibility. I'm sharing my talents with you, you're sharing your beautiful children with me. And as
Mm-hmm.
a result of that, we have the opportunity to see the new meaning and go forward with shared advocacy. Okay, we need to advocate for our children. And when we're advocating, we're making sure that we are pulling everybody in and everybody is working for a common goal. We're sharing
Mm-hmm.
education, we're sharing growth. All these are very important factors when we're looking at our children for today. And it's just one of my mandates. One
Mm-hmm.
of the mandates that I believe God has given me is to train up a child in the way that they should go. And so I believe
Mm-hmm.
in, as you say, forging, pushing forward. I believe in
Mm-hmm.
pushing children into excellence. If we train up a child in the way that they should go, according to Proverbs 22 and 6, here's what we reap. We reap a
Mm-hmm.
well-rounded child because that child knows that the parent, home, and school are working together for their good.
Mm-hmm.
Be surprised at what problems you can eliminate if you have parent involvement.
Right. And Cheryl Monroe was talking about advocacy is important, but I want to touch on this from personal because I only can talk about what I've seen and the results of it. When I just say you're not just an advocate for children, but I want to be safe to say that you're an advocate for teachers. Meaning, it was days that parents used to come and they want to go tackle the children. You say, "Hey, come here, beloved." Tackle the parent. Yeah, you'll be like, come here, beloved. This is not how we're gonna talk to the teachers.
That is
This is
correct.
not how we're going to, because you're making it harder versus easier. So if you just need to sit down in my office, because what you might be saying, you would never dismiss what someone was saying. You say you might be telling the truth, but your perspective of how you're saying it is not right. We need that in the education system. I wish we could duplicate Miss Mitchell over and over again. You need people to say, hey, you're a young parent. It's your first child. I know every boo boo gonna hurt you. Cause he said, I'll be like, I don't want nobody to touch my children. But at the same time, I grew through that to realize now I'll be like, are you okay? And it's just a growing thing because these are our children. But it made me comfortable knowing that somebody advocated for my child as hard as I did. So
Absolutely.
what tips can you give educators in advocating for not only the children but also for each other, your coworkers? What kind of advice?
Teach the children as though they were your own. If you teach, I used to hire teachers into the system, and I had a good reputation for being able to find some of the best teachers around.
Mm-hmm.
I always looked for a teacher that could teach my child. There was one particular situation that I'll share. I have a son by the name of Drew, and he is my deceased son as of 2020. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Drew was the kid that was Tacky the Penguin. And if you read the story Tacky the Penguin, Tacky wore plaids, polka dots, and stripes. In other words,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't care how he looked. He didn't care what you laid out for him. He was going to put on what was comfortable for him. And so instead of standing in line like the other children and going 1, 2, 3, 4, he went 5, 4, 1, 2. He did it different, but he got to the same place as the other children. There are always going to be children who are different.
Mm-hmm.
It's because their life experiences take them to different places. And because of that, those children need to be loved in spite of unconditional love. Everybody wants unconditional love. And if
Mm-hmm.
you will love that Tacky the Penguin, the benefits will be phenomenal. He thrived in a classroom where the teacher saw how special he was.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, she might have 30 children. She may have 25 children. She may have 18 children. But nevertheless, if she is willing or he is willing to say, hey, guy, you're really special. And I'm so glad you're in my classroom. And we're going to work this year. We're going to work together. I am really glad that you're here. That's advocating for that child because
Mm-hmm.
you are special. You are a part of this classroom. And I want to hear what you have to say. Children need to be heard and not just say,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're so important. And Ms. Monroe said teachers are so important yet so undervalued. What in ways that you think, I'm pretty sure, like I've seen before my eyes where I'm like, y'all don't even know the value of Miss Mitchell. I'm coming from a city of Atlanta, like y'all don't even know the value of Miss Mitchell. Like she up here advocating, she up here praying in the halls of these halls. I have saw her walk the halls and pray over these children. And y'all, people don't even understand how priceless that is. I
well,
don't think I understand until your husband was sick and you
yes,
wasn't there. You remember I told you, I was like, wait a minute, something is cold over here. Something happened.
it's my personal conviction. Everybody doesn't share the conviction that I have, but I believe that I was a mandated person. I was a watchman on the wall. I took my job seriously. I knew I was
Mm-hmm.
watching not only for their education, but for their souls. And if I could
Mm.
than a child. If I could walk that hall, I didn't have to go in and speak verbally out and loud and all of that. That was not what I had to do. But I could walk that hall and pray for a spirit of peace and pray that the teachers would have a good day and pray for that child who just saw a bullet fly past their face. Pray for a child who just woke up and got to school late and didn't have breakfast. Just
Mm.
praying to meet their needs, whatever that need is. Our children come from all walks of life, all walks. That means they have great experiences as well as extreme experiences. So, nevertheless, when that child comes in, they deserve an opportunity to reach a place
Mm-hmm.
of equilibrium. They need a
Right.
balance, and balance is key. And so, I would pray for the teachers because these teachers come from marriages, homes, situations. And when they walk in, one of the things I used to tell the teachers is that you got to do a strip tease. You got to throw off what happened this morning. You got to throw off what happened yesterday. You have to come into that school saying, I'm here to make a difference. And for the hours that you spend teaching our future, I need you to forget about everything else and I will do everything I can to support you in that. And the teachers would do just that. We had an
Mm-hmm.
amazing team of teachers there that worked together.
Can I stop you right quick? If you're watching this and you know an educator, you need to tag them because they pretty tired right now and they need some encouragement. For your kids' sake, they need some encouragement. And I brought Miss Mitchell. There, go on, Miss Mitchell. Okay, go.
You need, we I would pray for the teachers because they have personal needs. They're people, they're human, and they need your help. They need your donations. They need your time spent. Sometimes you can't be at the school, but you can send extra pencils. You can send
Mm-hmm.
anything that you think that would make a difference. All you have to do is talk to that teacher, and she'll tell you. Most teachers have a wish list, and they'll tell you what they need. But sometimes you can say, even though we have state laws that say you can only give a gift of $25, that's,
Mm-hmm.
but you can say, I would love to send you to lunch.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And I,
Absolutely.
I would love to do this for you. And give them that $25. Give them things that you have in the house that you say have no monetary value. You can do things for them. Teachers are always spending their own personal money to make their classrooms a special place for your child.
Mm-hmm.
So why not invest in that teacher and your child at the same time?
And
So
then not
go ahead.
oh, go on. I was gonna say not even only that, Miss Mitchell. What I learned from just my children in elementary, every parent is not willing. They might not be willing to go to school, but if I can, it is my duty to love on them other children. You understand? Like, when I was at Fear, it was like somebody thought that I was a full-fledged stripper because I had 51s every time because I don't like seeing kids without. You understand? I feel like love is abundant and it's for everybody,
Absolutely.
every child. Even my next story, when you're saying kids were hungry, you remember the program, the weekend program, where we send the kids with the snacks. That was like next level. Like just being concerned that these children, these babies, don't. What people don't understand, if you cannot eat, you cannot nurture your mind. If children are not eating and hungry, they will not learn properly.
That's correct. If their stomach
So
is talking
go
louder
on.
than the teacher, if their stomach is talking louder than the teacher, they're not hearing the teacher.
Mm-mm.
Well, they're hungry. Bless their hearts. Now, all of our children weren't hungry because
Mm-mm.
eventually we got into the program that we gave everybody breakfast, and it was free of charge at Providence. So that was a great program that they had the opportunity to eat. But what happens when mom has to work over and she can't get you to school on time to have breakfast? What happens to that child? That child is still hungry. We have a lot of parents that work two or three jobs, and those parents are tired, and sometimes they have
Mm-hmm.
things that happen. It might be a flat tire. It could be anything, and that parent is running late that day. But the most important thing is they want to get that child to school. So why can't I do the extra and provide a little pack of crackers, cheese
Mm-hmm.
and crackers, peanut butter and crackers, a cereal bar or something to give that child that fresh start in the morning and take care of that need, that immediate need.
And that why it's so funny why I'm laughing. I had one of those children every time they walk by, and Miss Mitchell say, "Are you hungry?" She was like, "I didn't eat." Maya. Yes, you did. So, but it's funny because it's just like bring back, like, yes, you did eat. Like, and she's still the same way. So still
Well,
the same way.
children eat. I mean, my kid is one of those. Everything she sees, she want to try. So why not?
Right, right, right.
Take the
So,
chance.
so, so look, if you, cause you was the person that had all the snacks in your office, you had the refrigerator. I'm like, honey, let me get one of these water bottles. I done had a hard day, honey. I done had a hard day. You want to give a prayer for a sister too? Cause it was a lot of times. What I noticed is not only about being a principal, you can be human and you can feel people emotions. And sometimes, I was in life insurance, so I would go through a lot with death claims. He said, "Do you just need to sit in the office? Yeah, I just need to sit here for a second and think to myself because it was so much sometimes. And sometimes you just needed somebody to see you when you can't see yourself. You understand? And not
Absolutely.
just into their job. And I can say you were strongly one of those people. And I really thank you for that because it helped me grow so much as a mom, a single mom, and just to do better. Like, represent your kids in the right way versus the wrong ways.
Absolutely. And sometimes, remember when parents come, they're in a hurry sometimes. And sometimes they're just hurting because, they're sending their best to you. And
Mm-hmm.
and often there are misunderstandings. And so we have to share information and get to a place where we're building relationships. And so I am very relationship oriented. I didn't always win,
Mm-hmm.
always looking for a win-win if I could. I wanted to leave everybody feeling the way I want to feel when I leave your school. Because I'm a parent, I have children. I want them to feel good when they leave me. I want them to say, I want to go back and talk to that lady. That was the
Mm.
goal, was to make them feel. Because if I could leave them a good feeling, if I could make them feel that there was an ear, I was there to listen, the benefits were insurmountable. I mean, it was just amazing because parents begin to come and say, "What can I do?" One parent I never will forget. She would come to school with her child, but she would always stay outside. And so one day I went and sat beside her, and this is in the early years of my administrative abilities. Um, she was sitting there, and I sat down beside her, and I said, "Hi," and she said, "Hi." I said, "How are you?" She said, "Fine." And I said, "Why don't you come in?" She said, "No, I don't belong there." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "I can't read." And she said, "There's nothing
Mm.
I can do." I said, "Yes, ma'am. There is something you can do." I said, "Do you cook at home?" She said, "Oh, yeah, I'm a good cook." I said, "Well, I need you to make popcorn for me." I said, "We have popcorn Friday, and I need you to come and cook some popcorn. Would you be willing to do that?" And she said, "You would want me?" I said, "I have gloves and everything that you to make that popcorn." I said, "I need somebody to make that popcorn. I want you to know she became the best popcorn maker around." She would make the bags of popcorn and deliver it to the children, and then she would clean up. Man, that was huge because the teachers didn't have to fool with the popcorn. They didn't have to clean up the popcorn. They could spend their time taking care of the children and pouring into the children. But you know, the reward of popcorn, kids will do a lot for popcorn. Something as simple
Yeah.
as popcorn. But if you don't have anyone who will come to school and make the popcorn, then maybe you can't offer it because of state requirements. That teacher has a responsibility to fulfill the obligations of the state as well as the district. That teacher has a lot of things that he or she has to do in a certain amount of time. So parent volunteers are just invaluable. I just can't tell you how important parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, without the parents, we wouldn't have children, and without the children, we would not have school. So let's work together for the good of our children. Let's make sure that we are doing what we can, and that we're training up our children in the way that they should go. And when they are old, they will not depart from it. If you show kindness, your children will grow up to be kind, and they will give kindness no matter where they are. It's going to be there. It's a gift, and all you have to do is make sure you give what you can.
And please, ma'am, for the people, please shout out this. What color is that?
Red,
What red represent?
the blood.
The blood too. What it represent for your sorority?
Delta Sigma Theta sorority. The
Yes, because she gonna
orphan.
say. There you go. So there you go. I want to blue first, but she going there. You go red. So you need to shout out your sisters, because you know, oh, shout out your sisters.
All right then. To my sisters, I would like to say I love you, and you are amazing.
Yep, and you guys be doing some great things in the community too, But also, um, the next question, she said, Cheryl Monroe said, spending 34 years in education is definitely a mandate. But through that, you've been doing a lot of speaking since you've been retired. Can you tell us about, because you've had an interesting few years, as persevering, even you still have love and encouragement words, because I remember your husband vividly, and I remember just seeing him completely well. I basically saw you come in, you're married, then your husband has cancer and your husband passes. And now this year, you've dealt with another level of grief. So not only are you a widow, but you've lost your son, which I saw all the time up the street from me at work. And I was like asking you how he was doing. And you was like, what? So how have you been getting through the grief stage? Because you still have this beautiful smile on your face.
I am thankful for the gift that God gave me. My husband was here for a season, and he was wonderful, and I'm thankful. I don't uh, take it as though I've been punished. I say, Lord, thank you for that gift and that season. And I've learned to accept the will of God. It was God, it was his time to go home. And unfortunately, it was life seemed too short. We didn't get to have all the fun that we wanted to have. He was an amazing man in his,
Mm-hmm.
but he left me a legacy, and we shared a child, which was little Missy, and
Mm-hmm.
because he was willing to allow me to adopt one of my family members. And, he didn't have to do that, but he was so giving. And God just blessed us to have this little girl, and she was the joy of his life. So I had a good time. And it reached a point where I had to look at the good and what I had rather than what I lost. I had to be
Mm-hmm.
willing to release. I mean, first of all, God spoke. It's time to
Mm-hmm.
come home. I couldn't change that. No matter how much I may have cared for him, it reached a point where I had to say, Lord, thank you for the good times.
Yep. And I think one thing that I always admired about him, like sometime when we would be there planning little events for his school, he'll be outside. I'm like, hey, Mr. Mitchell, he'll be right there in that car waiting for you. And I said, that's so. So that was, and y'all just be riding. I see y'all riding around and about in the problem. I'm like, look at me, miss. So I know you definitely miss him because he was a
I,
he was a good partner. And Miss Cheryl Monroe said, "Did you always know you wanted to be an educator?"
I had an opportunity to be something other than an educator. When I went to Texas College, I was having a great time, as most college kids do. I was having a great time, and I was trying to decide what I really wanted to do. But I knew that I loved education. I was a business education major who went into the science lab and the science classes and did exceptionally well. At one time I wanted to be a pediatrician. So I love science. And I actually won a scholarship to go to Meharry in the summer. Unfortunately, I was not able to take that scholarship and go there. So I said, what else can I do? I decided that business was fine, but it wasn't for me. Making a difference
Mm.
in the lives of children. I have been a teacher since I was very young. My mother used to send me down. You know how you have Sunday school? Well, we went to church every Sunday, and we went to Sunday school. Well, mind you, that my mother was the superintendent of Sunday school. So when a teacher didn't make it on time, she would send me to hold down the classroom. So I learned to work with kids very early because I
Mm-hmm.
there and talk to them, and I would sing with them and do all kind of stuff with the kids. And the teacher would walk in and say, I'm supposed to follow that. And I said, okay, I got to go to my class. So I started teaching very early, and I realized that it was a gift. I have a gift for children. I love,
Mm-hmm.
and they are a big part of my life. So when I was making my final career decisions on what I wanted to do, I switched from the business world um, to education. I majored in special education,
Mm-hmm.
specifically in all kinds of learning disabilities. I had some motivation because I had a family member who had disabilities, and I saw the difference in what can happen when you decide that no matter what disability they're dealing with, they can learn.
Mm-hmm.
If you will look at every child as that is a gift, and if you will thank God for the gift in that child, you'll be surprised at what a child will do. I love the story that Marva Collins tells about the child that they misplaced. They put the child in the classroom, and because she looked at that child and said, baby, you can do this. You can stand up straight. Nobody knew the child was a special needs child because the child
Mm.
was trying to live up to the
The experts.
expectation of the teacher. So I always use that. And when Marva Collins came, I shared my story about my relative with her. And she said, that's why you will make a difference in education. It's because you see children as something special. As something
Mm-hmm.
special. So we have to look at those children as though they are really special, and they will live up to your expectations.
Miss Monroe said, Miss Mitchell exudes compassion for the youth, and this is awesome to watch. And she really does, y'all. I love Miss Mitchell. I think I had more lunch breaks. I just used to make up lunch breaks. Miss Mitchell, you want to talk? What you want to do? What we doing today? Because remember, I was in a city with no family members, and you remember my mom wasn't here yet. And I
Yes.
was like, shoot, this is my mom away from home. Just tell me what I need to be doing with myself. Like, because I respect the real woman of God. See, everybody ain't, some people women, but then there's a woman of God. There's a difference. There's a difference. You understand? So you are that difference.
The,
And
te-
then you
the
go
scripture
on.
tells us that, that the older women should be teaching the younger women.
That's
And so
right.
every opportunity I have to bring joy to someone, I'm going to teach you something. I'm going to tell you, say, girl, you can do that. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what you do. All you have to do is care. Reach out to people and care. And then you end up teaching them something. And I love to tell stories. So I tell stories of things that have happened to me and all these things. Because I haven't always been all of that, as they would say. I'm not all of that today. But I am God's anointed. And I have been anointed to make a difference in the lives of children as
And
well as
then and then for a minute, y'all, she was going to be my matchmaker. I said, Mr. Jones, like that, man. You be like, you so and so was looking at you down how I don't care, Miss Mitchell. I'm trying to get my kids to school. Yeah. It would be so funny. It would be so funny. Cause I be like, I just be
it's
sitting
not good
there.
for man to be alone.
Well,
so,
we'll talk about that all camera. You know what I'm saying?
so
Anyways, staying to the point, you know. You
never
can
mind.
tell me I really love me some Miss Mitchell. I just love people that have knowledge, have compassion, and just love to pour into people. Your gift is not your own. So, with that, your gift is not your own. Sing us a little song, you know my name. That's what she really do, y'all. She really, I ain't never seen nobody. I said, boy, Miss Mitchell be on the phone and she'll start singing to me. Okay, sing, sis. Sing us a little bit. Let us hear it. Look,
Oh
let me
my.
hear it.
What do you want to hear me sing, Tiffany?
I was going through a tough time one day, and you told me to come and watch you speak. And you say, I'm gonna sing a song, and you're gonna like this song. And then it said, you know my name. So that day, I needed to know that God knew my name. My mama was real sick. You understand? I was on my face. You understand? And I needed to know that God knew my name because I felt so invisible in the world. You understand? And I tell you, I remember that day like it was vivid because I wasn't even gonna go. And I said, I'm gonna go on and get up. And you said, you're gonna be glad that you did. And then you just started singing this song. That was the first time I heard it. Then I had to listen to it again. Then I started listening to it again. And I was like, God does know my name. You understand? It was like a personal conviction that
And
I
you
was saved. You
know,
understand?
you
So
know,
there you go.
you know what motivated that song? The
What
scripture,
motivated?
the scripture that says that before you were formed in your mother's belly, He knew you.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Yes.
He knew you, He knows your
Mm-hmm.
name. So
Yes.
when that song came out, He knows my name. That was the message for the day. Does He know your name?
Mm-hmm.
Have you decided to talk to Him and build a relationship with Him? He knows my name. He knows my name. And I love the part that says, oh, how He walks with me. And
Mm-hmm.
oh, how He talks with me. And oh, how He tells me that I am His own. And then the thing that I went through every day, there's no fire that can burn me.
Mm-hmm.
Had to sing. I would sing because I have a battle hymn. And when I would be in that classroom and things would, or in that school and things would be happening, sometimes I just had to remember who I am in the Lord. I had to
Yes.
remember that God has a plan for your life.
Mm-hmm.
He has a plan for this school. All you got to do is stay focused and keep moving forward. So that's why I love the name of your book, Forged, because there's a force that is in that forge. When you forge,
Mm-hmm.
there's a force, there's a driving force.
Mm-hmm.
God is my driving force, and He is the reason I do what I do, how I do. He is the spirit of excellence that is in me that I impart to others because I
Mm-hmm.
you can be excellent too. Each of you have a gift. My gift may not be your gift, and your gift may not be my
Mm-hmm.
gift. But if we would just learn to realize that each person is a gift, what's in your DNA? What did God
Mm-hmm.
give you to do that nobody else can do the way
That's
you?
right.
So even though there are great people still teaching in education and still making a difference, they're not Darlene Mitchell. And so, I gave my gift and I will continue to give my gift. I will continue to consult because I believe that I'm a teacher, I'm an educator, and I'm an advocate for children. when I was on Capitol Hill, because I had the opportunity as an educator to go to Capitol Hill and speak with legislators concerning laws and bills that were being made, and pointing out from an educator and a mom's perspective, you're making these laws, but do you really understand how they're going to impact the children?
Oh, wow.
Because often on Capitol Hill, you have these young little whippersnappers, as I call them. They're 19, they're interns, and they're making decisions. They stand behind you when you go in to speak to people. I've never will forget. I was in Robert Alderholt's office and a couple others that were on Capitol Hill, and there was somebody behind them going for the questions that I was asking. They were the ones who had done the research and knew what was really going on. And so they would stand back there, and he being in front of me, he would then respond accordingly, because he can't take care of
Mm-hmm.
everything. Okay, and I said, "You mean these 19-year-olds are making decisions for my children?" I
Hmm.
said, "I need to get on my knees and pray. I need to be an advocate that goes before the Father for these children.
Right.
I need to be more active." And I begin to give more of myself because I realize how things really work. He was doing all he could. He knew a little bit, but that person behind him, me, knew more. And they were telling them how to respond based on what their belief system was. So, who's advocating for our children? Who's the watchman on the wall? Are you praying
Right.
in the community? Are you praying over those children? There's a
Mm-hmm.
Miss Sadie. There's a lady that I grew up with called Miss Sadie. Miss Sadie was an older lady that lived in the neighborhood who did not have any children, but Miss Sadie made more cookies. She
Right.
did more things for children, and she would pray, "Baby, I'm praying for you. I'm
Right.
praying for you, baby. Baby, come here. Did Miss Sadie see you do so and so, so and so? Now you special. You know God loves you. I need you to remember that you're special, and special children don't do all of that. So I want I want you to know that in every neighborhood there can be a Mercedes. Someone
Mm-hmm.
who's speaking life into these children. Someone
Yes.
who said, "Baby, do you need something? Did you miss
Mm-hmm.
the bus, baby? Well, maybe I can call the school and tell them that you missed the bus, and they'll send the bus back to pick you up." What are you willing to do to change a child's life? The scripture clearly tells us that children are special. They tell us
They
that.
they are special, and I'll tell you that story. That's so like that's still. It was a child that went to our Providence. Um, they were my neighbor. They were my neighbor, and I don't know if you remember the little boy that came from Bermuda,
Hmm.
and his mom, and he was brand new. Do you remember?
I don't remember.
He came from Bermuda, and when you're saying children are special, I remember one day he was sitting outside, and his parents had, got confused about the time because his stepdad had just married his mom. And so they were my neighbor. And so I was like, hey, let's call your mom, let's call your dad where they're at. I'm not going to leave you outside. He was in fifth grade. Kyla was in fourth grade.
Ah.
So he had just came. He was like, he only stayed there for about 3 months. And so I know I was about to move to a different neighborhood. And my interaction with that child was probably about a month, maybe 3 months, 3 or 4 months, even with the school. But to say the least, my mom saw his mother years later, and she remembered you, and she remembered me, and that we saw her child because she didn't know nobody. But to say the least, the mom ended up passing for cancer about a year ago, and they were only in the United States for probably about 4 years at this point. But the point is, I didn't remember her because I had moved, but she met my mom along the way again. But she remembered the school, she remembered you, and she remembered me being her neighbor. So what you're saying, I never told you that story because
Wow.
it's so much more to the story that basically I'm confirming what you just said, that she remembered you. She said
Absolutely.
it was only a couple of people helped her because she was new to the United States. So what you're saying is very important to see children. Even you don't know. You don't know
You never
how
know
you're
what's
gonna affect.
on.
No.
I mean, who would have known that mother was going to have cancer or had cancer
She
and,
didn't, and she wasn't sick.
and didn't know anybody? Okay, all she needed was someone to say hello, or can I give you a ride, or can I help you?
Right.
There's so many things you can do to make a difference. You know, we're living in a time where I see scripture fulfilled when it says that the love of many wax cold. People
Hmm.
are selfish, they don't want to be giving, and they're fearful. But here's what I know: when you decide to break past that and love a child, you make all
Hmm.
the difference in the world.
Absolutely.
Not the little children to come unto me. That was one of my things. And so it doesn't matter if they came from, you know, what we would call today the upper crust, the middle crust, or the lower crust. A
Don't
child is
matter.
a child to me. And
Hmm.
therefore, if I can do anything to help that child, I'm more than willing.
Along the way, yes, I love it because I love children. I had children before I had with adults because they just so special. They just so they have an imagination that keeps you
They're
growing and it
pure
keeps
in
you.
heart.
Yes, they're teachers, and so I just listen to
Sometimes
them. I
they'll
get so much
tell
inspiration from them. Just listening to them speak, and I'm like, wow, they think like this. Well, it make you level up. Like if they think like this, I should think higher. But we thank you for the heroes in the community, those teachers and educators, along with yourself, because there's some people out there too that are doing amazing things, and y'all been asking for an educator, so I gave you the perfect one, the role model of telling how to make strides in education. Don't just go there and teach every day, but you must inspire these children because this is our future now.
it
This is
is.
our future. So if you're not pouring into your future, if you ain't giving hope to your future, well, what are we doing? What are we doing? But I had so much things. I thank you for so much. And Mitchell Long said, wonderful. Mitchell Long, I thank you for coming on here. Thank you for sharing so many gems, so much knowledge. I'm sure you're going to have some type of seminars in the future that you can prepare and train, educate. See, I always be telling people what they go do. But she already, I just know you just threw a couple of gems out there for me in the future. I can throw some back. I
You
just know that you're going
in
to
the
have
season that we
seminars.
live in, especially with COVID, there are strategies we have to use. And I just
Hmm.
want to share one more strategy if we have a moment.
Okay, you
And
do.
for instance, I have a grandson who has recently moved to Tampa, and he is my only grandson. So, this grandma is going to make sure that she spends every moment. I've been to Tampa twice since he moved there 2 months ago. Because I want to see my baby grow up. And when I get off of here, I'm going to read with him. But I'm going to give you this little short strategy that I'm using right now.
What did you just say? You gonna read with your grandson?
I'm going to
How
see
important?
my
How
son.
important is it to reading with your children?
Honey, it's $1 million. It's worth $1 million. You have to read with them and spend time with them. My grandbaby is in the second grade, and
Mm-hmm.
so his parents moved to Florida to follow their dreams, and they're doing an excellent job of following their dreams. But in the meantime, they're spending a lot of time, acculturating into Tampa,
Mm-hmm.
jobs, their new home, and all the responsibilities. When they got these jobs, they said, okay, we'll leave Alabama and go to Florida. Well, the learning systems are different in each state. Everything is a little different, and there's always this little gap that you have to fill in. So he's on homeschool. He was on homeschool here. He was on Alabama's homeschooling, where he was getting a certain kind of education. When he moved to Florida's homeschooling, it was totally different because they have removed what we call the mortar and the brick. They want you to come back. So they basically give you, here is your curriculum, and you'll have to do it. So his parents are spending time online with him every day, and they're not having enough time because of their jobs to do all of the things that they want to do. They spend quality time with him, playing with him, and taking him places. But one thing that he told me, he says, "Grandma, I want to read better. I really want to read better." And I said, "Well, you're doing a great job, and Grandma knows that you're going to." He calls me Gma. That Gma knows that you're going to do it. And he said, "I want to read better." And I said, "Okay, I got a deal for you. Child loves laser tag. There's
Mm-hmm.
a celebration station there." And I took him there when I was there the last time during fall break. I took him there, and boy, he had a ball running around doing all the different stuff. But it costs money. So I decided, I'm going to motivate him to call me every night. He loves laser tag, so I'll buy him a card. I bought him a card,
Mm-hmm.
and they can reload that card, and he can go to Celebration Station and run around, play all the different games and all this. So he earned, if he will tell his dad to send me a link every night, we get online with ABC Mouse and we are reading for 15 minutes every night. He reads a story and I talk to him about his little story. And then I cash app or Zelle his dad $2. So at the end, and he can earn up to $10 a week. Now, somebody else, it might be $2.50 a week. It might be $5 a week, but I'm able to give him $2 a night. And so every time he calls me, he earns $2. And boy, is he excited because he gets to go play laser tag, and his parents don't have to pay for it. So when he says,
Right.
I want to go to Celebration Station, they say, okay, we're going to take you on Saturday. Well, he has money, but his grandmother sent him the money. You can make a deal, find what a child loves, and give them that motivation.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, he goes, hey, Gma, I love you. I want to read this story. So he picks his story. He gets to tell me all of his knowledge that he knows about the character. Oh man, one night we were on there for 30 minutes. Why? Because he was listening and telling me things and giving me all these details. And boy, he went on and on and on. And his dad was laughing. He said, yeah, he wore you out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he was so excited. But in the meantime, his fluency is building.
Mm-hmm.
We're reading the story, I'm reading to him, I'm modeling to him, and he's picking up on my intonation. He hears how I express myself, and then when he reads it, I'm going, good job. And we're playing this game where he'll start reading and I'll say stop, and then I'll start reading and then I'll say go, and he'll start reading and I'll say stop, and we'll say stop and go. So we're playing stop and go, just something I made up out of my head. It wasn't in the book. It was just something. How do I entertain this little guy for this 15 to 20 minutes? And now it's growing 30 minutes. I don't want to stay on there that long. But I'm spending time. I'm investing for a lifetime. And he is the most amazing kid. I mean, grandma duty, I love it.
Oh, that's
Hey,
awesome.
Gma, but I love that little guy.
Well, I know you do, and I know you're a good resource, asset for your family, gem for your family. And definitely, I know God has a great plan with you, and you dead in it, and you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do, spreading your seeds among the world, your fruit. And I thank you for blessing my platform. Is it anything that you want to tell the audience before you go? Any encouraging one last line? Whatever you have to say, this is your time.
Never give up.
Mm.
Never give up. You know, it's a quote from Winston Churchill: never give up, never give up, never ever give up. So
Mm-hmm.
to know that we can never give up on our children. We can never give up on each other. We must continue to love. COVID has taken a lot from us, but one thing
Mm-hmm.
it cannot take from me is my love.
Mm-hmm.
I can still give my love. I can still do things. I know we have to be careful. I know we have to use wisdom in this season that we're in. But if we have learned one thing in COVID, and that is the how important people are, because you miss people during COVID. We
Mm-hmm.
haven't been able to fellowship the way we used to. Now we're doing it on social media and we're doing it on all these things. Well, I don't want my child, nor my 11-year-old, nor my 38-year-old and my grandbaby. I don't want them to always have to go to social media for
Mm.
other things. I want them to come to me and ask me questions. There's a story that says, um, uh, I'm not Google. Do I look like Google to you? Well, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't teach them how to read, they won't be able to read the Word of God, and they won't be able to read for themselves. They won't know these things in the world. If you want to hide something, put it in a book. I want them
Mm-hmm.
to pick up a book and be able to read. I want them to say, "Hey, Miss Mitchell, I've been to Paris. I went in a book, and I can say I've been there. I've seen that.
Right.
I did this." I want them to research things. I want to tell my stories and I want them to tell stories. But above all, I want to give you Jesus.
Mm.
If I
That's
can give
right.
you Jesus, if I can tell you that that God's got this, if I can tell you that it's been hard, it has been. But you know what? I can face tomorrow because of Jesus, because of
Mm.
my relationship with him and the plan
Ah.
that I have established. I'm telling you, because when I can't do nothing else, I can pray. So I
Girl,
want
well, you just gonna go on and preach then now. You that, you know what I'm saying? You gotta go, I can face tomorrow because he what?
to
Lives.
live
All right. Okay.
because He lives. I face tomorrow because He lives. All fear is gone because I know who holds my future.
Mm.
My life is worth the living just because He
Mm. All
lives.
right. Amen. Yes. Yes, yes. I can face tomorrow. And I'm glad that you're here facing another day. Another day, another journey. But there's something at the end. It's gonna be waiting for you, Miss Mitchell. I promise you that. It's something at the end. It's gonna be waiting for you. And I thank you so much for blessing my platform, as you always have been a blessing to me from the very moment I met you. And I thank you for blessing others. I think you continue to be an advocate for children, an advocate for education, an advocate in our community, telling us how we need to be acting out here. And not saying you're perfect, but you got a lot of good wisdom. And thank you for spreading it here and with my audience.
And as I am building a platform where I work with widows, and
Mm-hmm.
I have that opportunity. It's a club that I didn't sign up for, and there's so many women out there who have
Mm-hmm.
put to this position of being a widow. They went from wife to mechanic. I
Mm-hmm.
advocate for them as well. And if there's anything I can do for them, I do that as well. So there are many women out there. If you want to know, if you're a widow and you just need somebody to talk to, I need to tell you, call Tiffany. She'll get you in touch with me.
Yes, indeed. I'm gonna get you in touch, and you gonna collaborate with. I didn't even know that's what you did. You gonna collaborate with Janice Carter over there. She has a widows club called Forgotten.
Oh,
So you gonna be both. You know that that's your sister too, my mama. And that's a yeah. You called in over. You need to be right. I'm gonna put you right on over there. Yeah, right.
absolutely. Because
Yep.
it's talks like this that it bridges that gap. There's so many women that are, especially in COVID, they're already a widow and now they are home alone. I want to be there for them. And so, you know, what
Hmm.
can we do?
Hmm.
We can pray and we can get them together on Zoom, and then we can do little special things because
Yes.
that we're going to be doing in December. We're going to be tailgating. The widows are going to be tailgating, and
Where y'all tailgating at?
we go to the
That.
Christmas parade and we tailgate at the
Oh, okay, okay. Up
parade.
downtown. Okay, okay,
Ah,
okay.
I know how to have fun. We're gonna
Oh,
have a great time at the parade. We're gonna be outside and we're gonna have our mask on. And for those of I'm not gonna get into all that debate, but we're gonna have our mask on and we're gonna have our blankets and we're gonna be sitting down there watching the parade and eating a little good food and drinking a little hot chocolate, a little coffee, and we're gonna have a great time on, on the street.
yes.
Good time.
Well, they know. I tagged you. Please DM her. She's awesome to talk to. And I thank you so much for coming to this platform. And this will not be your last time. And you will be back. Thank you, Miss Mitchell. Love you so much.
Love you.
Well, guys, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another Tiffany Talker with Tiffany S. Carter. And we had Miss Darlene Mitchell, a principal in education over 34 years. She has definitely made her mark in the world. And I thank her for coming on this platform. But, honey, next week, what's coming up? Next Tuesday, a special night, not Monday. I said what? Tuesday. Tuesday, we'll be here for a breast cancer special. Now, let me show you this. Hold on. If you know somebody who has breast cancer, please email us at cmonroe@ckmacg.com. Also, if you want a speaking engagement and you want to book me for hosting events, birthday parties, retirement parties, even at your church, wherever, seminars, wherever capacity I need to serve, just email that same person. Also, if you want to order a book, you just go right here at www.ckmacg.com. And then Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to some of my sponsoring partners, which is the Cleaning Advantage, also CK Management, also Diversified Marketing. And right here, let me go. And now next week we will have the breast cancer. If you know somebody, like I said, DM. Also, we having Miss Andrea Williams, honey, and she coming here telling y'all see what's going on. Y'all need to be carrying, and she has a self-defense class. She teach you the proper skills of training how to carry firearms. Oh yes, we're going there because we are getting. I mean, every day somebody's missing a child. You need to know how to protect yourself. Don't be naive and don't think you don't need to know these things. You absolutely need to know these things. So next Wednesday, Andrea Williams with Silhouettes, honey, training is coming here next Wednesday. Also for breast cancer, I told you breast cancer survivors. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming to Tiffany Talks. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for purchasing a book. Whatever you did to support this platform, we thank you. This is being your girl, Tiffany S. Carter, on this Working Woman Wednesday. What did I say? Working Woman Wednesday. And guess what? This has been another real conversation. You welcome, Sarah, where you have been a part of the conversation. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great night. And I'll see you back here on next Tuesday because I'm a survivor, honey. We got some survivors and we have some stories about people about breast cancer that they want to share on this platform of how they made it or how they made it through a loved one's journey. Your story is your story. Tell your story. Bye. Have a great night. And we love you.